It's never an interview. It's a conversation. It's what we do on arrow.net, ARROE.net. All right, let's do it. Let's play it forward. These are real people, real stories, the struggle to play it forward. Episode number 445 is with actress Hanako Greensmith from Chicago Fire.
Good morning. Hello.
You got to tell me, what is it like for you to prepare for a day like this? We never get to see this side of your story. I mean, when it comes to magazine articles and stuff like that, we read the paragraphs, but we don't get to see the preparation on your side. So what is it like?
Oh, there's some talking into a bathroom mirror and trying to anticipate what I'm going to be asked so I don't feel too blindsided, and just a hope and a prayer that everything goes okay. That's about it.
Being a part of NBC's Chicago Fire, I mean, this has become a very big conversation piece because, I mean, firefighters, paramedics, I mean, and you guys, it feels like that you're right there on the street during all the action.
Yeah, it's thrilling. I mean, a lot of the time we really are on the street. We definitely film outside quite a lot, and it gives me a lot of respect for what the real first responders do and all of the elements that they put themselves through and the emotional distress that they go through each and every shift. I have massive respect for what people do day to day.
Do you have to study for the roles that you're playing? In other words, I mean, because when you guys are out there as paramedics, you've got to come across as real paramedics. Are there coaches on the sidelines?
Yes, we have some real paramedics who step in to make sure we don't look like complete pretenders, although of course we are. But yeah, it's incredible getting to work with not just paramedics, but firefighters every single day. They're really what make our show seem somewhat realistic.
Do you ever have any space or anything like that where you got, because when you're in a live situation like that, I mean, is it all about the script, or is it all about, you know, what possibly you would probably say in a real life situation like that?
Well, of course, we have to honor the writers and what they've written and their storyline and their words. But we do have Stephen Chikorotis, who Bowden is actually written after, who is a real life chief. And so he has a lot to do with the story as well. He makes sure that the things that we're writing and we're saying are legitimate.
I was wondering if there was somebody like that on there, because it just feels so authentic. I mean, I'd love to see how many young adults are becoming paramedics or firefighters because of a show like this.
Absolutely. I mean, myself and then a lot of the cast members will have people reach out to them via social media and just say, because of you and because of this show, like, I'm going to go to the fire academy, or I've decided to become a paramedic. And it's so incredible to see how inspiring this show has been for so many. It really is. Now,
you came in on the 8th season. As an actor, what is that like? Because now you've got to become a part of the storyline, right? You know, because you're 8 seasons deep into it.
Yeah, it's definitely daunting, because especially the cast is so close knit, because so many of them have been there for such a long amount of time, and it's such an established show. But I have to say, the cast makes it really easy once you're in. They're really familial and they're really welcoming, and everyone's so goofy. And as long as you're willing to be confident enough to take up space, there's definitely a room for you when you join.
I'm glad you said goofy, because I've always wondered if there is that kind of camaraderie between the actors. I mean, for us to feel it on this side of the flat screen, I mean, you guys have really got to, play it up a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely, I would say, 100% natural. It's definitely, I would say, created by the cast ourselves, and it's something really fun to cultivate together.
Now you mixed up in a relationship with the boss man. I mean, do you have to study Maury Povich or Jerry Springer in order to get through this one?
Can't say that I have, but maybe I should have. Yeah, no, that's been a blast. It's been a total surprise, honestly, from this season. It's not something that I think I was anticipating coming into this season, but I guess that's a part of good TV, huh?
So that's part of the mystery then, isn't it? As an actress, is that when the scripts are coming in, I mean, it's like, oh, really? So that's what I'm going to be doing now.
Yeah, exactly. Week to week, I have no idea what I'm going to have thrown my way. I do remember that Derek said, I guess maybe like episode 4 or 5, he like sidled up to the ambulance because he was on set and was like, so we're thinking of putting you and Hawkins together. And my immediate thought was, that's my boss. How? And so we've obviously been trying to dive into the possibilities of that for the rest of the season since then.
Do you feel like you're making a mini movie every week because the quality itself is there? I mean, the camera action and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, it definitely does feel like that. But I have to say also, because it's season 10 and because everyone is just so wonderful at what they do, it really feels like a well-oiled machine. So we're able to churn it out without it really feeling like, oh God, another movie each week. It's just, another week, another episode. We got this.
How much of Chicago do you get to, kind of drive around in and do your shots and stuff? Because my wife is from Berwyn, which is up there in Chicago, the area. And I mean, do you guys get to go everywhere to do the filming?
Yeah, I mean, for example, we were in when we had that bridge incident with like a truck hanging off, and there was a poor guy just pretty much suspended via truck. That was shot in Waukegan, so that's pretty up there. But yeah, otherwise we're often at the stages, which are in Pilsen, which is in Chicago.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've definitely gotten to see some good parts of the suburban culture of Chicago as well. Illinois.
I think that's part of the authenticity of why so many people love the show, is that you're physically there and we can see that skyline. We can see the different buildings. And for many people, you sit there and go, I think I've been there.
Totally. Yeah. And then on the flip side of that, there are people who are true Chicagoans, and we'll be like, we have to be like, I don't know, like 366 Walcott, and we'll like arrive somewhere and they're like, that's not 366 Walcott.
So when you create with somebody like Dick Wolf, do you ever get to sit down beside him and listen to his vision or tap into how he's playing things out?
Unfortunately, because of COVID, we haven't really been able to have a large group gathering, which is normally where we would meet Dick. And there are a lot of, obviously, other actors who work on the other shows who have gotten to spend some time with him. But because I came on pretty much when the pandemic began, I have yet to meet the wonderful Mr. Wolf. So hopefully someday, but we'll see.
Now, to play Violet, is there a paramedic that you've modeled yourself after? I mean, the confidence, the coolness that Violet has.
I've been wanting to do a ride along with a paramedic for a long time, but again, because of the pandemic, it's been really hard to find a firehouse that I get to do that with. So I've just kind of cultivated her based off of some of the badassery of a lot of the paramedics I've met on set, and then just try to weave that into my character in a way that feels authentic to who she is.
What's your favorite part of being a part of NBC's Chicago Fire?
Oh man, so many parts. I genuinely love the whole atmosphere and the whole experience. But I have to say the people I work with are what makes it so special, because you can do a TV show almost anywhere if you're lucky enough to, but the people you work with are really what makes it so incredible.
In your years being an actress, technology has changed so much. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like to be on a set these days with the way that things are moving quickly.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very specific experience. Not all shows get 22 episodes a season. Not all of them are airing pretty much weeks after you've shot them. So it's definitely an intense experience. However, like I said, it's a well-oiled machine, and so we're really able to take it as it comes and create content as quickly as possible.
You talked about that, season 10, and you started with season 8. That means that you entered that show before the big binge watch became our habit. How has that changed for you in the way that we can go to the Peacock from NBC and sit there and binge watch the seasons? I mean, they're all right there for us.
I know, it's incredible. I mean, I get tagged in things of new fans coming onto the show being like, I started season 1 like 2 months ago and now I'm caught up and I can't wait for the next episode. I'm like, that's a lot of TV you just watched in 2 weeks. But that's the way we view things now. It's a pretty convenient way to indulge in your content.
I mean, it's like a golden age for actors and actresses as well as writers. I mean, we've always got to include those writers.
Yeah, definitely. Plenty more opportunity for everybody, and I welcome that.
Well, what about playing the role of someone who isn't afraid to speak her mind? Dun, 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 dun. Are you like that in real life?
No, not at all. I'm definitely a lot more nervous to offend people, and I'm more of a people pleaser than she is. And that's kind of why I love playing her, because it's so opposite of what I really am in my life. So it kind of instills a little bit of self-created confidence, I'll say.
Does it take a lot of energy to be able to do that? Because, I mean, even as an on-air radio talent and stuff like that, you hit a certain level and you play off that level is what you do.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it definitely didn't come totally naturally at the beginning. I mean, it was something that I really feel like I had to put on. But now at this point, having done it for almost a full season now, it's definitely something that once I settle into it, it feels more comfortable than it did.
You bring up an interesting point when it felt like it was natural. When did you know that? Because I mean, there's so many times when, like, even with radio people, we all get into radio thinking, hey, you got to talk like this, and then all of a sudden you stop talking like a radio disc jockey. When did you know it was like, yeah, I'm in the right zone now?
Well, it was honestly once the writing started to really, I think, lend itself to that character, because I think the writers and I both were feeling that that's kind of her persona, but kind of cultivating that so it felt specific. It wasn't just a general, she's confident in her abilities. It was like, where is she confident? Why is she confident? When those things became clarified for me, it was a lot easier to bring them to life.
So do you have vocal coaches or anything like that in the way where they break it down? Because when we go into a vocals, like to cut commercials and stuff like that, the director will sit there and say, all right, who are you? How old are you? Who are you speaking with? And you get into that mindset of making that connection.
Yeah, oh, that's incredible. I had no idea. Yeah, we don't have vocal coaches. I think we might have had vocal coaches early on in the show, but not when I was around. But yeah, I've never really taken enough thought to maybe what her voice might be like, like that's another interesting acting exercise I haven't even thought of doing.
Yeah, because I mean, look how many people you yourself or Violet herself will be inspiring, or will change people's lives because of that confidence.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I'd like to think that it'll inspire other young women, other young people who want to come into a field like this, or any field that they're inspired by or interested in, and know that they can take up space. They can feel confident in their knowledge and their abilities, especially when there are so many demanding things being asked of you each day, like being a first responder. You have to believe in your talents, because the people that you're serving need to know that you believe in yourself to help them get through whatever it is they're going through.
What do you think is the big connection between fans of, shows based on fire stations and stuff like that? Because, I mean, I grew up watching Emergency as a kid back in the 1970s. What is it about fire stations and paramedics that we just can't get enough of?
I think what I love about fire shows is that it's a very unique first responder experience, because they're all doing 24-hour shifts together in a firehouse, and it's very family oriented. I feel like hospitals aren't so much like that, which are kind of what we're similar to as far as like a procedural show might go. And so there's more room for goofing off, there's more room for tomfoolery, and for understanding people's personal lives too. That's more a part of the story, which I think creates a really loving atmosphere, and it's really comforting to watch.
Well, that's interesting that you say that, because one of the things that if you see a firehouse, I mean, when everybody goes from the firehouse goes to the grocery store, they all go together, and that camaraderie, you can sit there and see them joking around, being real people. But I mean, they've got all the firefighter clothes on and stuff like that, but still, you can tell that they are very tight knit.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something that is absolutely genuine and true to real life, and also something that we've translated to our show really well.
Do they have you like train in the way when you're doing the character of Violet, that you have to learn how to trust and have faith in your fellow man on that as a paramedic as well as a firefighter?
Definitely. I don't think we ever had to really work on that. Honestly, I think that's something that comes really naturally to us understanding our roles and to us understanding the environments that we're in. And if ever you visit a firehouse, briefly, I've like kind of come in and out of one, and it's definitely something you can witness even in a few moments of standing within the firehouse. Someone's like making chili, someone's watching TV, someone's like playing cards.
Yep.
Like it's like a family hanging out.
So, and plus on top of that, they're always cleaning the fire engine. It's like, dudes, it hasn't moved in a couple of hours, but they make sure that everything is so spick and span inside those fire huts.
Absolutely. Fire huts. Yeah, they've got to be clean. It's true. I have to agree with that.
So what are you going to do with season number 10 if Dick Wolf comes to you and says, okay, your character Violet, I need you to write some scenes. Will you do it?
Oh, God. I don't know if you'd like what I'd write. I mean, of course I would do it. If Dick will have to do anything, I'll do it. But yeah, of course. I mean, I would give it my best shot, and then he'd probably say thank you, but no thank you.
Do you write anything at all?
Yes, I had musical in college with a good friend of mine, but it's definitely very different to what this show is.
Being a writer, though, I mean, because, readers become writers, writers become readers. It's the same. What becomes the actor or the actress? What led you in that direction? Well,
I actually got into acting through music. I had been playing the cello and singing as a kid because my family is really music oriented, and then went into musical theater. And then from there, I realized in the musical theater, I really loved the theatrical acting aspect of it. And so kind of followed that through college, and then landed myself here.
Yeah, because musical theater, I mean, the lyrics of those songs, I mean, if you don't feel them, we don't feel them.
Yeah, because you've really got to suspend the audience's disbelief to think, I'm so emotionally motivated that I have to sing, because people don't do that in their real life. But if you're able to convey that in a genuine way, it really is the most moving thing to watch when it's done beautifully.
And lately, I mean, even when I was watching West Side Story, it seems like they went into a song, free fall, basically. And it's like, well, I didn't feel that because it didn't build up enough to go into that song.
Interesting. Yeah, I can totally hear what you're saying. Yeah.
So what's next for you? Because I know that you're not going to stop here at NBC's Chicago Fire.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. I don't know. I mean, for right now, I'm here and I'm kind of calling this home for the time being, and just kind of going to see where Violet takes me. But yeah, we'll see what happens next.
Well, do you have a website where people can go to find out more about you and show you some love?
Yes. Well, I do have a website. I don't know if it's a good place to show me love. I'm not very active on it, I have to say. It's just hanakogreensmith.com. But feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. It's just at Hanako Greensmith, my name. And my Twitter is at Hanako Flowers.
What now? Are you a flower child then?
Well, actually, my name in Japanese means flower child. And so when I was like, I don't know, a child making my Twitter account, I was like, what's a convenient handle? There you go.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, please come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Thank you so much, Arrow. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you be brilliant, okay?
You too. Thank you so much.